Hey everybody, it's Beth from Yoga Bliss, and I thought I would pop in for a little warm-up exploration, preparations for side plank. We're not actually going to do side plank, but we're going to do some things to help mobilize the wrists and the shoulders and build some strength around that area too, so you can more easily be in your side plank. So today, I'd say you just need a mat or some open space. And if you want a blanket for under your knees, you can have that too. But let's hop on the mat. And let's find a comfortable seat. If you'd like to sit up on a blanket, you certainly could do that to elevate your pelvis and your spine. And just take a moment to feel the length through your spine and drop your chin a little towards your chest to start to create that little more of that inward turning feel, letting the outside world fade. Take a moment to acknowledge the time that you have carved out for yourself to be with your breath, to be with yourself, to be in your body and your practice. We'll sit for just a moment, feeling your breath come in and go out. When you find your next breath in, gently float your eyes open. All right, and let's go ahead and breathe the arms wide like a T. And see if you can feel your arms growing straight out from your shoulder sockets, not too much in front, not too much behind. And when you inhale, rotate your arms up, if you will, so your palms face the sky. And when you exhale, rotate your arms in so your palms start to face behind you. And we'll do that a couple of times, feeling the way the arm bones move in the shoulder socket and how each position has a different effect on the chest and the upper back. And the next time you inhale, let's take the arms and roll them out and just notice from your collarbone to your arm bone what that feels like. Does your arm pop forward, the head of your arm bone? Could it ease back? And then take one more breath. And then bring your palms together, interlace your fingers, and just lightly hug the heels of your hands towards each other. And let's make a little figure 8 here with the wrist. Just bring a little warmth and movement into your wrist, and then change that direction of your figure 8. And then from here, let your hands come back to center and draw the heels of your hands away from each other, but keep the fingers interlaced. And now your forearms are kind of parallel to yours. And then we're going to bring one hand up and make the other hand extend. So one wrist is flexed and one wrist is extended like a seesaw. And then flip it. And flip it. And flip it. So just letting your seesaw tip in each direction one more time. Great. And then shake everything up. All right. Now, take a moment. We're going to roll the shoulders, right? Make little shoulder circles. We do this. Yeah, I don't know about you. I do this all the time. But this is a pretty common movement, right? You feel your arm bones moving around in the shoulder sockets. Yeah. And then circle the other way, if you will. We'll just do one more. Just remember that movement. We're going to try it in a different orientation to gravity, with the arm is fixed in just a moment, and see if we can replicate that movement. So let's arrive on hands and knees. Allow your fingers to spread as evenly apart from each other as you can, and see if you can settle your shoulders over your wrists. Spread from the heel of each hand into each fingerprint. And also pay attention to the little fleshy spot between the thumb and the first finger. Could that anchor down? Now, without lifting any portion of your hand, try to rotate your upper arm bones out in the shoulder sockets like we did in that T shape. And your inner elbows might start to spiral a little forward, that creasy part of your elbow. Try to maintain that without locking out your elbows or hyperextending them. And then push the ground away. Find the rhythm of your breath. And let's go through some nice, easy cat-cows. As you exhale, go ahead and tuck your tailbone downward. Let your pelvis tilt back and round through your spine. And let your shoulder blades do what they do, right? They might feel super broad and wide. And then as you inhale, tilt in the other direction. You just start to notice these little things. As you exhale, curl and round, noticing, again, those shoulder blades as you push down into the earth. Keep that feeling of push and inhale into your cow. And pay attention to where your shoulder blades go on your back. Pay attention to whether or not you sink into those shoulder sockets. One more time, we're going to curl and round. And one more time, we're going to tilt into a little back bend of cow. And then find the space in between when you're in neither of those two shapes. And then remember those arm circles that we just did, those shoulder circles? Try them here without moving your arms. Could you move the shoulder joint around the arm bone? Because ultimately that's what's happening in our side plank. We're not moving in this necessarily this orientation, but we're moving the shoulder joint around the fixed arm bone. And let's circle it in the other direction. Great. And then find that place in between, neither cat nor cow. Push your ground away, hug your upper arms towards each other. And then without changing your elbows, let your heart melt toward the ground like there was a magnet pulling the front of your heart toward the ground, and notice what happens between your shoulder blades. Then let your heart start, the back of your heart start to get magnetized toward the ceiling. Push the ground away. And then keep going without changing your pelvis or your lower back. Let the back of your heart float toward the sky. So it's like you were doing cat pose just through your middle upper back area without changing the pelvis or the low back. And same thing, without changing the pelvis, the low back, or your elbows, melt your heart toward the ground. Notice that little valley between your shoulder blades, right? You could dip in there. Then push the ground away. Let the back of your heart get magnetized toward the ceiling. And notice how it gets a little rounded like a mountain. You can kind of climb up and over to the other side. And let's do that again. Melt your heart. And puff your heart toward the sky. And then somewhere in between is where your shoulder blades and your ribs are kind of just resting neutrally like a plateau. Walk right across without dipping down or climbing over. And that's where I'd like you to stay. Now, slip your right hand onto your right hip. Press firmly your left hand into the ground, like you're pushing the ground away. And when you exhale, we're going to turn around that fixed arm bone to the right. Then inhale back to the center. Again, turn your rib cage, your torso around your fixed arm, and inhale back to center. And check it in one more time. Keep pressing into your fingertips so you distribute that weight through the hands. And then change out your hands. Put your right hand back down, press it into the earth. Slip your left hand onto your hip. Take a breath in. As you exhale, turn your belly and your chest to the left. Inhale back to center, but try not to sink, right? Notice if you sunk, push the ground away. Turn your belly and your chest to the left. Inhale back to center. And check it in one more time. So this is essentially what's happening through the upper body. And then go ahead, replace both hands. Now let's take your own personal right leg straight out behind you and rotate your thigh out so that your heel comes toward the ground and spread into that pinky side. Now your left foot, you could kickstand behind you. Push into your left hand and do what you just did. Slip your hand to your hip and turn your belly and your chest toward the right. Push the left hand down away from the earth. So here is a little variation on plank pose, but you've got some good support. not just through the hand, but through the shin and the foot. Take one more breath as you root into your foot to lengthen through the top of your head. And then when you're ready to exhale, return to your tabletop. See if you can set your hands again a little more under your shoulders. Press into your right hand. Slip your left leg out behind you. Spin your left heel to the ground, and you can kickstand your right leg out behind you. Now push into your right hand, like you're pushing the ground away. Float your hand up and turn your belly chest to the left. And here you are, breathe. And see, did this arm bone start to pop forward? Did you sink in? Push the ground away. Could you widen your collarbone and gently ease the head of this arm bone back? Let's take one more breath. And then ease your way back down. Invite yourself into child's pose, either your elbows to the ground and your knees, or rock your hips back to your heels. Let your arms rest wherever it feels most comfortable. And enjoy a breath for 2 or 3. And when you're ready, bring yourself back up and just take a moment to notice the imprint your practice has left, even just these few minutes of moving mindfully and breathing. When you're ready, breathe your eyes open. Thank you so much for playing with a little side plank or Vasisthasana preps. I hope they're helpful in your practice. If you enjoyed this video or any of our others, please remember to give it a thumbs up. You can find more of these videos here on my YouTube page, and you're welcome to subscribe. I would love for you to do so. You can also find more at thisisyourbliss.com. I have more videos there, some free, some for rent, different lengths, different styles. And of course, we have classes going on online. Would love, love, love to connect with you there. Thanks so much, everybody. Stay well. See you soon.